Hi everybody, it's Kai. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new speed build video. And today we are going to be building one of the biggest builds that I've ever done, I think, in my whole Sims creation thing. But we are building a family barn or family farm in the world of Brindleton Bay, and it is the world that came with the cats and dogs pack. And I'm really excited to show you guys what I have come up with because I've never built a barn or a farm in my whole life ever since I played The Sims, and I've seen a lot of people do it and I was really interested, but I thought about the landscaping that had to be done and everything was really big, and I didn't see myself doing a farm, a proper farm with a lot of crops. But I eventually did, and I chose to build this because I wanted to challenge myself to build something that I usually don't build, in a sense that it is not normally, like, usually I build houses and community lots, but I have never in my life built a family farm. So I'm pretty excited that you decided to join me in this build, and I really hope you will like it as much as I did. I didn't expect to enjoy this build, but I actually enjoyed building this farm, and I really had fun using the terrain paint, the terrain tools, and also the debug items. There are a lot of debug items that I used for this farm. I think there are a lot of crops, that's for sure. A couple of hay bays, I'm not sure what you call them, but they're these big rolled up hays that I will be putting at like a small barn without animals in it, of course, because The Sims doesn't have animals. And I think there are several more, but you will see it after this. But as you can see, the structure of the house is already pretty much complete. It came together pretty quick because I referred to Pinterest for this build because I don't own a farm, obviously, and I never know like how it looks like in real life, so I refer to Pinterest just for the sake of doing this family farm. But I had a lot of fun using the terrain tools that were provided, and I never use terrain tools particularly because I'm not a great fan of the terrain tool, but I really try my best for this build, and yeah, I think it looks okay for a terrain newbie like me. But I had a problem with the terrain paint because there was a lot of times that when I closed the game, the terrain was there, okay? And then after when I reopened the game, the terrain was gone, so I had to redo the entire thing. But in this video, I will be showing the first time that I do the terrain because I was tired of recording it all over again just to make you guys see that I changed the terrain. So I didn't show it, but I eventually changed it in the end to a different terrain paint. You can see that I'm doing the terrain right now, which is kind of this box plots for the crops, but I end up changing it to a different pattern because at first I wanted to do like a full dirt type of terrain, but I eventually didn't because I thought that it looked too muddy. And it doesn't look really pretty. But at the end, I decided to use the grass, just keep it there, and just a little bit of terrain paint. And that second time that I did that, the terrain didn't vanish. So yeah, I think it was a good choice. But anyways, you can see that I'm working on the landscaping. I didn't really know what to do with the landscaping because I don't know what type of landscaping there is, especially at farms. So I ended up adding a small river or stream in front of the house, which is also in between the house and the farm. And I also added that terrain paint you see, but I will be changing that, of course. And for the landscaping, like I said, I didn't really know, so I just put random trees here and there, with a couple of bushes around it to make it more colorful, a little bit more colorful. But I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there are colorful farms. Maybe there are, I'm not so sure. But as you can see, I was having this terrain problem when I wanted to fill in the terrain for the barn part of the build. the other terrain paint also vanished or became the same as the sandy, this terrain one. So I had to redo it all over again, but like I said, I skipped that part out because I didn't want to waste time, and it's just much of a hassle. But I also ended up using those debug fences that you see that I put around the whole lot. So it kind of looks like it's a proper farm because of the style, and I really like that fence. But for the layout of this build, you can see that the main house is a ranch type of house, if I'm not mistaken. It's on a slope or a small hill, and then to the right is the small barn, and opposite are the crops that I imagine that the family of farmers live here. And for the house, basically there are, I think, 4 or 5 bedrooms in total, so you can fit a lot of Sims in this build, and it's a pretty big house. And I think I aced the interior as well. So it's kind of a long video, so I'm just gonna talk slowly so that I don't really run out of things to say. But anyways, I also use those cats and dogs fences that are across in a box, and I really like those fences because it kind of looks like it suits Brindleton Bay. Other than that, it also looks kind of homey and cozy. But as for the color scheme, I decided to go for the house. For the color scheme, I decided to go with this all plain white swatch. Using the wallpaper that came with the Island Living pack, so there is a little bit of texture on it. And I also used those Tudor stone things that came with the get together for the roofing and a little part of the build. So anyways, you can see that we are starting off with this interior, and we are working on the living room. So the living room is where your sim enters the home, and they instantly see the living room, and it's kind of cluttered in here, but I really wanted to make it very decorated in a sense that there are a lot of clutter and also a lot of things because it's such a big house, and I thought that if I left some parts of it empty, it would look too maybe new, or just it's not nice because it is a big house and there were a lot of space that I could fill stuff up with. So I decided to go with the couches from the Cats and Dogs pack, which are a variant of each other. And one is I think a love seat is what you call it, with boxes type of pattern on it, and the other one is plain blue. And I decided to go consistent with the color scheme for the inside and outside as well, so that they don't look too colorful. And I really wanted to make this house really cozy, so I added in a lot of cozy furniture. But as you can see, I was decorating this part of the living room, and there is a lot of stuff in here. I eventually made minor adjustments to this build once I finished recording it, but you will see that in the screenshots. And talking about recording it, this footage of this build, there are certain parts of the build, I think maybe 2 rooms actually, that I forgot to record because I was too confident that I was recording the footage of me furnishing the parts of the house. I think I skipped recording the small hallway, a ground floor bedroom, and another one, but yeah, and the dining room, which is kind of the most important part of the house. So I hope you guys can forgive me for that because I was too confident that I thought I was recording, but I didn't. And I think I had too much fun. That's the reason why. But as you can see, we moved on to the kitchen of the build. And for the color scheme, I think I kept it a white top counter, but the same body color of the counters. But I was struggling a bit to match the counters with the wallpaper. So I just played around, and eventually I ended up choosing the white countertop And I think the wallpaper that I use is another swatch, but the same type of wallpaper that is the tiles from the Parenthood pack. And I really like the wallpaper that is given in the pack because it kind of looks very homey, as you know, it suits the title itself, which is a Parenthood pack. But anyways, I also ended up adding this island. I think you call them island, I'm not so sure, but I don't have it in my home. The island of counters in the middle of the kitchen. And I think this is my first time also furnishing quite a large kitchen, and I really like how it turned out because it is kind of very spacious, but at the same time it looks cozy. But I also ended up decorating the walls of the kitchen with a lot of like pictures and also sculptures. And I think I will also be adding the calendar, the task list that came with the Parenthood pack, and also a small cats and dogs calendar in here. And the kitchen is one of my favorite parts of the build because I really enjoyed playing with the colors, playing around with the colors, and also just clutter it up, not making it too messy, but not making it too empty as well. But for the family that I imagine living here, there are a couple of parents, one maybe teenage boy, a couple of not a couple, there is a couple of parents, one teenage boy, one younger child, and the other one is a toddler. And there's also a bathroom on the ground floor that you can change into part of the family members' rooms. So there are 3 rooms upstairs and 1 room downstairs. And for the layout of the build, I also took some time to figure it out, but I eventually made it. Like I said before, I think I said in my previous video that I'm not a big fan of layouts. I usually suck at them, but yeah, I just try my best for this build. But anyways, we are working on the upstairs area over here, and I didn't really know what to put for the big space that was for the common area. So I ended up putting the table, I think it's a TV table or a side table from the Nifty Knitting Pack, and I also added in the hamster house, not sure what you call it, but where the hamster lives, in the common area just now. And right now I'm working on the parents' bedroom, which I wanted to move it. I wanted it to be a teenager's bedroom, but I forgot about it when I furnished it, and yeah, I just switched it around. So this is the grandparents' room, and the other 2 rooms are the kids' rooms. And I also ended up adding a bookshelf in here. But for the common area just now, I also added in a fireplace because there is a chimney, so I won't forget to put a fireplace. So there are a total of 2 fireplaces in this build. One is on the ground floor where the living room is, and the other one is on the top floor at the common space where you can just chill out. Oh yeah, and I also ended up adding a couch in the common area on the top floor, so it kind of doesn't look empty, and I really didn't know what to put there, so I just put a couch in there. But right now I'm working on the teenage boy's bedroom, and I imagine that this teenage boy has a personality that he is into technology and is just athletic in a way, but he is also maybe a smart student. So I ended up adding a lot of books and a lot of clutter, and I just made sure that it properly looks like a boy's bedroom, because I've always struggled to decorate kids' bedrooms, especially when it comes to like decorating the walls and the clutter that are associated. But I tried my best for this room, and I think I like the turnout. Is that what you call it, the turnout? But yeah, I really like the outcome, and I hope you guys like it too. I think this is the first time that I enjoy cluttering up or decorating a kid's room, because there are a lot of stuff in here and it looks well organized as well. So let me know what you guys think in the comments if you want to. And I wanted to put something in the corner over here, so I ended up changing that. I think that's a bunny dwarf or something with the bat, and I changed it to the sports clutter, which I think came from base game, but you will see that after this. I think Maybe I didn't record it, I also forgot. But over here is going to be the the younger child's bedroom and also the toddler's bedroom. So they share a bedroom. And I wanted to make it look kind of like fierce, but at the same time kind of looks adorable and colorful. So I ended up using that bed. I'm not sure which pack it's from. Maybe it's from Discovery University, which is red in color, and paired it with a study table from the My First Pet Stuff pack. And for the toddler, I made it a little bit colorful. The bed is kind of this purple and coral blue kind of color. And I also added in a lot of decorations for the wall. And I wanted to put in a light above the bed, which is from the Realm of Magic, but I wanted to limit the number of packs that I use, because if I were to use the light from the Realm of Magic, it would be just that light, which will add more to the packs that I used in this build. So I ended up using a different one, which is from the Spooky Stuff pack, if I'm not mistaken, and I also added in a skull carpet in there. So the bedrooms of the teenage boy and also the couple of kids, they share a common bath. And over here is going to be the parents' bedroom, because I wanted to decorate the bathrooms together so that they are consistent. And I also added in a couple or 3 of laundry baskets, just to make it more like a family house, because I also ended up adding a washing machine downstairs in one of the rooms. But yeah, I also added in a couple of food bowls for the cats or dogs they have here, because I figured that you should have a family of pets maybe in a farm, so that they can take care of your crops and also become a family member. But right now on the patio outside, I didn't really know how to decorate it, so I added in an area for sitting and also an activities area for the kids, which is a cardboard tree house, dollhouse. And this part over here is going to be the last part, which is a simple garden pots. I really hope you guys like this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!